I mean, there's really not, you know, that's really not that much clearance. But I'm hoping that those work. If they don't work, then I guess, you know, we'll just have to go with the ones that are a little bit thicker. But you know, we'll go ahead and see and check it out. And also too, I picked up these header gaskets. Now, I don't know if these are necessarily going to work because I don't know what the size is on the ports on the head. What's good, grind schoolers? It's your boy Rob, and we back in the shop today. Today we got a lot of work to do on the El Camino. I'm pretty much just tying up some loose ends. Some of the things that I've talked about in previous videos, we're gonna tighten up some of those things. I stated previously that I was gonna work on little tiny projects in between doing the body work and painting the car, just so that, excuse me, when the car's ready or painted and stuff like that, we can just roll it out and, excuse me, hit the streets and go have fun. But before we get started, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that bell notification so you get a notification every single time we drop another video. I notice a lot of y'all are not subscribed, man. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me. It would help me out tremendously. Also too, my boy Dash just picked up a new project. It's a Monte Carlo. Go ahead and check out Dash's Garage for that content, because it is a project, and there will be a lot of content coming for that Monte Carlo. I promise you. I'll probably be over there helping him out as much as I possibly can. So if you want to see that, subscribe to my channel. Also subscribe to Dash's Garage. I'll put the link down below, and I'll also drop it in the video. If you are into the G-body thing and you into Monte Carlos, El Camino, stuff like that, go ahead and go check it out. Like I said, you gotta be subscribed and hit that bell notification so you know when we drop these fire videos. Also, everybody that's been asking about the Impala, I am trying to get the car back. The car's been gone for about 7 months. So I gotta, you know, just stay on my painter and keep trying to figure out what the status is of the vehicle. I promise you, when the car comes back, it will be worth it. It will be worth it. So stick around, man. And you know, like I said, it will be worth it when it comes back. I am trying to get the car back. I'm hoping that we're close. I don't know the status of the car. Like I said, I'm trying to get it back. And this is kind of the reason why I have elected to paint the El Camino myself, because I can't have my cars gone for, you know, 7-8 months. You know, there's no content to make. So I am trying to get my Impala back. I am trying to get it back. It will be worth it. And when the Impala comes back, there are huge plans for the car. I am going to try to source a motor because I went back and forth with this, with the LT1 or LS or whatever. I think we're gonna just go LS because the LT1 in there is pretty old. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but I mean, I could probably sell it for about 500, or probably half the cost of what I'll get for probably a LS motor. And what else are we gonna do? We still have to do the exhaust. We're going to tint the windows, get the alarm system installed, install the speakers and all that kind of good stuff. So there's a lot of stuff that needs to happen on the Impala. So I promise you, stick around, because when the Impala comes back, it will be worth it. And when both of these cars hit the streets, it's gonna be a problem. So anyways, man, let me stop rambling on. Let me show you guys what I picked up for the El Camino, and let me show you what we're gonna be doing today. All right, y'all. So as you can see, I've been doing a lot of sanding on this side. The top portion of the door is pretty much done, with the exception of, I don't know if you can see, but there's 2 pieces of tape on areas that I missed. So pretty much what I'm doing is I'm using my hand to feel for any low spots, and I'm marking those spots with tape. Then I'm going back over it and putting the body filler over it, sanding the body filler down, and then, you know, this is where we're at. So pretty much the body filler on the car should be wrapped up within the next week or so. And then after that, we're going to go ahead and throw the polyester primer on it. So this car should be in polyester primer within the next couple of weeks. I said this in my last video. So we are moving pretty quick on the car, but this is what I picked up, and this is what we're probably gonna be working on today. I picked up 1/4-inch wheel spacers. I'm really hoping that it gives me enough clearance. I mean, there's really not, you know, that's really not that much clearance. But I'm hoping that those work. If they don't work, then I guess, you know, we'll just have to go with the ones that are a little bit thicker. But you know, we'll go ahead and see and check it out. And also too, I picked up these header gaskets. Now, I don't know if these are necessarily going to work because I don't know what the size is on the ports on the head. So I went to O'Reilly's and I just picked this stuff up just for a quick solution, because I should have ordered my stuff from Summit, which is where I get most of my parts from. But I was dragging my feet on it, and it's the weekend, and I didn't really want to have to wait the couple of days that it takes to get shipped to my house. And I also didn't want to have to pay for shipping as well. So I'm hoping that both of these work. If not, then we'll just order our parts from Summit and keep it moving. So my whole goal is to put the wheel spacers on and put the header gaskets, excuse me, put the header gaskets onto the car today. And then also too, I bought this like a couple of weeks ago, this heat wrap for my starter wire. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this around my starter wire as well. These are kind of the loose ends that I'm talking about getting fixed up. So these projects shouldn't take me too long. Probably shouldn't even take me about an hour, but like I said, this is another, these are more things that need to happen in order for this car to officially roll. So like I stated before, I'm trying to do things like that in between doing this stuff, just because of the simple fact that I'm not gonna keep showing you guys body work. I mean, there's so much that has to be done, and to keep bringing you guys videos of me sanding the car down is doing you guys a disservice. So you'll probably see the car in different stages, but I'm not gonna show you guys that until we get to the polyester and until we get to the epoxy and the paint and all that kind of good stuff. But that's what we're gonna do today. And also too, I took the front bumper off as well. As you can see, I did the body work on the bottom. So there's still a little bit more sanding that I gotta do. Obviously you can tell I still have to do the back end of this door. There was a bunch of low spots down at the bottom of the door from like, I don't even know how that even would happen. But there was like a few little dents down at the bottom of the door. So that's why I kind of skim coated the bottom of it like that. And just basically I'm gonna just sand it down, kind of like I sanded that area down. There was a lot more body filler on there. I sanded these areas down, and I still got a little bit of a low spot right here. So we're gonna have to put a little bit more body filler there and sand it down, and then sand down this whole area still. So there's still a little bit of sanding that has to be done. And this is kind of what you want to look for when doing body work on your car. There shouldn't be a ton of body filler on the car itself. I know a lot of shops, they'll slap body filler on it, guide coat it, and you know, make it so that the car is you know, smooth and straight and stuff like that, but you got a ton of body filler on the car. I'm not with that plan. I don't like that because, you know, it just could present problems down the road with cracking and stuff like that. But hey, to each his own. That's why I'm doing my own car, just because of the simple fact that I'm comfortable with the work that I'm doing and the work that I'm putting out. I'm not a professional. I've never gone to school for this. I've never, you know what I'm saying, like, had anybody really sit down and teach me how to do this type of stuff. I'm just kind of self-taught, and this is the process that I'm going through with my car. And as you can see, I put cheap body filler in here, just that Bondo crap. And you know, I'm not really necessarily satisfied with that work that I did previously. So we're redoing it and we're going to do it right. But this car will be 100% straight by the time we're done. As I've stated before, that quarter over there on the other side, I'm not really too sure what course of action needs to happen. I'm gonna just go with the flow, and then when I can get it replaced, I'll get it replaced. But yeah, like I said, this is what it takes to get a straight car. And then obviously the polyester body filler or polyester primer is like a spray-on body filler, so it's kind of like, you know, I'm doing body filler twice, and most of that stuff will get sanded down and sanded off after we guide coat it, and then we can epoxy primer it and then paint it. So, and I know I've stated this before, but I kind of wanted to reiterate that just because of the simple fact that, you know, there's a lot of people out there that pay a lot of money to get their car like done up, and you know, people like painters are just throwing body filler on it, which is sad. And it's really like you're really robbing your customer, you know what I mean? And once people start to find out, you know, you'll start losing business. And a master painter told me that they take all their cars down to bare metal because they can't warranty their work if they just paint over the top of the paint, because they don't know what's underneath. So they take the cars down to bare metal, they blow all the doors off, all the interior and all that kind of stuff, and they paint it like that. Also they media blast it and do all that kind of good stuff. But like I said, that's $100,000 paint job at that point. Also depend on the car and how far down the line or how much work needs to be done. Obviously if the car is rusty and has a lot of body work, you know what I'm saying, that's when it can get up into that $100,000 range. But he said that their paint jobs don't start less than $20,000. And another painter told me that as well. They don't start less than $20,000. But the amount of craftsmanship, the amount of work that goes into it is just so immense that, you know what I mean, that's just what they do, you know. And taking it down to bare metal, what I've done to my car so far, somebody would probably charge an arm and a leg to do. And I've probably got close to, I would say, 100 hours in this car already, just with what I've done just now. Because, you know what I'm saying, stripping it, and all the days that I've come out here to strip it, do body work, body filler, all that kind of stuff, you know, it's been a lot of work. So anyways, man, let's go ahead and jump into the video. I'm gonna show you what I'm going to do. We're gonna go ahead and throw all this stuff on, and we're probably gonna take the car out and see if these wheel spacers work. I'll probably just take it around the block real quick. I'm not gonna do too much, but we're just gonna see how that goes, if the spacers provide the necessary clearance that I need on the back of the wheel. So let's go ahead and jump into it. I'll start with the header gaskets, just because that's gonna probably be the most difficult thing, and then we'll just move on down the line. So let's go ahead and jump into it. All right, y'all, so pretty much what we're going to do is we have to replace this gasket. As you can see, it should look like this, but you can tell the difference right here and also back there. So pretty much what happens is over time these bolts loosen up, and because of the heat, because obviously the metal contracts and expands, so these bolts probably loosen up when the motor expands and vibration and all that kind of stuff. The bolts loosen up, and eventually you'll have an exhaust leak. And if you have an exhaust leak, your head gasket, exhaust manifold gasket, whatever you want to call it, pretty much can get blown pretty quickly. It doesn't take long. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take that out. Like I said, we're gonna loosen up the two bolts on the ends. We're gonna take the middle bolts out, and we'll probably heat the car up And then once it cools down, we'll re-torque the bolts down after this is installed, and then we'll go from there. Hopefully the ones that I picked up yesterday fit, and we don't have any issues, and I don't have to wait to order my header gaskets from Summit, because I want to get this done today so that we can continue to move forward. And I noticed that this was an issue. When the last time I drove the car. You could hear a ticking noise, and pretty much that was the consensus. And also too, the car is breaking up when I mash on the gas. So the car is breaking up, and you know, I looked under here and I saw that, so that's what we're gonna do, and hopefully that fixes the issue. Also too, I got that heat wrap for this purple starter wire, because it goes down and it goes along there down into the starter. But the reason why I want to wrap it up is because it's not too close to the header, but it's close enough for me not to be comfortable. And I'll also too probably wrap this wire as well, just for the hell of it. I don't want any wires like kind of near my headers. And then also we need to figure out a solution for these trans cooler lines, because as you can see, they're routed very dangerously over the header. And they've been like that since, I don't know, since this car's been running. So what I think I'll probably do is I'll probably go back with the stock style trans cooler lines and just run them along the block and get them away from the header and run them through the frame. I was talking to my guys and they said that I should run them through the frame. However, it's still running over the header, which I don't like, because if the transmission starts to leak tranny fluid, pretty much what's gonna happen is it's gonna leak right onto the header. I'd rather run them right along the block, which there's still not that much clearance to do that. However, we just gotta figure it out. We gotta figure it out some way, one way or another, and you know, do what it takes to make this work. So anyways, man, let me go ahead and get started on these bolts, take these bolts out, and then slide this gasket in there and see what happens. We aren't going to start the car until a little bit later, because like I said, it's early in the morning and we're getting this stuff done and knocked out early so we can play later. So let's go ahead and get to it. All right. So as you can see, these gaskets look kind of not the greatest, I'd say, and it looks like this part obviously is blown. I guess it was escaping right here. I was probably robbing myself of some power too, to be honest with you. But anyways, I found out yesterday that the gasket should match the head side and not the header side. I guess the header should be matched to what you have. However, when I first built this car, the only thing that worked, I had to find a quick solution to the headers, just because these heads are angle plug heads. I couldn't find angle plug headers to save my life. I had bought some Headman headers, shorty headers, and those were going to fit regular style plugs, but these heads are angle style plugs, which I completely hate. I wish they were regular plugs, just because of the simple fact that it would just be a lot easier, a lot more simple. And what I mean by angle plugs is the spark plugs come out of the head at an angle instead of going straight into the head. So it's like this instead of like that, which you have to get certain type of headers to fit, obviously, angle style plug heads. So anyways, that's the reason why like those don't match. And I put these trashy headers on from, like, I think AutoZone, and obviously they, you know, turned like this like rusty looking, like an exhaust manifold, because they're not coated, ceramic coated or anything, and they're not treated to withstand, like, I guess, the heat over time, and it just turns like this. So anyways, man, I just put on some quick fix solution, and that's the way it's been all along. And I have debated going back and forth between taking these headers off, switching them up, and you know, going with something different. But then, you know, when I think about doing that, it's like $300 for a nice set of headers. It's like, well, this motor is going to come out of this car. I don't know when, but it's going to come out of this car. You know, obviously, like I stated at the beginning of the video, we're gonna go LS on the Impala. So that's gonna happen first, because that car's motor is older, and also it's a lot slower than this car. This small block is really, really good, but I could probably get a nice decent chunk of change for the engine transmission setup in this car and go ahead and go buy me a LS motor. That's eventually the plan for this car, but right now I'm just trying to get it road worthy so I can drive it and have fun with it while I have the motor in here. And when, you know, when the motor comes out, we'll just, you know, sell it as is or whatever. I'm still probably going to do the front assembly and the radiator, but we'll probably factor that into the cost of the motor too, because when I take this out, this motor will be turnkey. Like I said, I'm not trying to spend a whole lot of money into the motor anymore, because I've built it to where it is now, and it's a good motor. It just needs, you know, I just want to go LS just to prevent the hassle, and I can throw a lot more power at an LS. I won't say a lot more power, it's just to each his own. But, you know, I won't have to worry about the smog regulations, because this car, obviously, well, this car is coming up on smog and emissions, and, you know, I'm not going to pass like that. So we're going to go ahead and snatch that 350 out of there. But anyways, man, like I was saying, I guess it's supposed to match the head side, not the header side. So that's why I got the kind of square ports, because the port, as you can see on the head side, is a square, as you can see. So by this little black ring. So this was on the head side, which is, I guess, where it's supposed to be. So anyways, man, we're gonna go ahead and bolt up these header gaskets. Hope that we don't have another issue, and go from there. All right, y'all, so we got the, obviously you can't see it, but we got the header gaskets in, and everything's all tightened down. So we'll wait until a little bit to see if it's gonna work out. The header gaskets are a little bit bigger than the port on the cylinder head, so I'm hoping that that's not gonna be too much of an issue. I guess we'll find out pretty soon. It's kind of my OCD kicking in. The Summit was crooked, but anyways, man, the ones I pulled out, I don't know how they were both different. Maybe I already had a blown one, but one was circular and one was square port, obviously. So we're gonna have to see what the deal is with the new ones and go from there. But those are done. Now we're gonna jump to the wheels and get the go ahead and get the spacer on there, and then hopefully the spacer gives me enough clearance. I'm crossing my fingers that it does, and we could take this car for a spin today and see what it do. And if not, we'll just go ahead and what am I trying to say? Just start it up to see if there is still an exhaust leak. And I'm still pretty curious to see if that's the reason why the motor is breaking up and not the air-fuel mixture or air-fuel ratio. We'll see. But yeah, let's go ahead and get to the spacer, and then I'll cut y'all back on. All right, y'all. So unfortunately, the wheel spacers that I just picked up from the auto parts store don't fit. This is a 4-lug wheel spacer. Now, I was hopeful that it would work, even though this is obviously 5 lugs. I had already took back the other one, the 5-6 lug one. The 5-6 lug one was bigger than that one. And like I said, I was hopeful that it would fit, but obviously it doesn't. So I think what I'm gonna just do is I'm just going to order one. I guess I found one on Amazon that could get here by tomorrow. So that's pretty much what we're gonna do, man. We're just gonna order it, get it here by tomorrow. And hopefully by the time this video comes out, it'll be here. I can put the tire on the car, or the wheel on the car. But I think what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to take some washers. Before I order this spacer, I'm gonna take some washers and I'm gonna put them on the lug nuts and just get my spacing that way. And then I'll throw the wheel on and then we'll see if that will do the trick. So that's what we're gonna do, man. And also too, I think what I'm gonna do while I got the wheel off and everything, I think I'm gonna sand this part, all of this down, hit it with the rust encapsulator and paint it while it's up like this. So I am going to do that so we can knock something out, you know, so I can kind of feel accomplished. We're just going to spray the frame and spray the undercarriage, and then we should be good to go. So let me go ahead and start knocking this out, and then yeah, so let's just do that. All right, I got it all cleaned up in there. Looked like somebody probably already tried to undercoat it, so we're just gonna pretty much I guess we'll Scotch-Brite the paint a little bit up under here, and we will clean it with some I already cleaned it with the purple power, and I also sprayed it up under here. So I guess we'll go ahead and sand it down, and then go ahead and hit it with the undercoat, and then we'll spray this with the rust encapsulator and the chassis black. So I'm not gonna sand this part down because that's what the rust encapsulator is supposed to do. It's supposed to basically encapsulate the rusty looking frame, and it's supposed to make it good, so I don't really need to sand it down to bare metal. But yeah, so let's go ahead and scuff up the white spots with Scotch-Brite, and then I'll clean it with some paint prep, and then we'll undercoat it. All right, so while we let the frame dry, pretty much all I did was I took a couple of washers and I threw them on a couple of the lug nuts. I just want to kind of check the spacing. Obviously that's not going to be what the deal is, but 2 lug nuts are about 1/4 inch, which is the size of those wheel spacers, which is what I need to still have the wheel on top of the hub. So we'll go ahead and see what the deal is with that, and hopefully we'll be able to, you know, get the correct spacing and see if this wheel can go on, and then I'll order my spacer, and then hopefully we can get the car moving. I'll probably still start it up today just so I can see what the deal is with the header gaskets. But yeah, let's go ahead and let that dry up. I'll throw this on, see if the spacing is okay, and then after that, I'll go ahead and paint the frame and undercoat it. Okay, so I had to improvise because I don't have enough washers to see if it's gonna fit. And when I put it on, when I put the wheel on to like one side, if I stack the washers, I'm not getting an accurate, you know, reading because the wheel is like off center or whatever. So we're gonna see if this works. Like I said, that's a 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch spacers. The washers are about 1/4 inch. So I'm going to see if, you know, when I put the wheel on, if there's still any rub or any play like in the wheel, or any rub against the frame, and see if it moves freely. And hopefully this works so that I can order the correct spacers, because I don't want to go through trial and error. And the only reason why I'm doing it like this is because, like I said, I don't want too big of a spacer. Like that's what I'm trying to prevent and trying to avoid. So as long as I can get this thing centered up and it's not touching the frame, there's no scrubbing, no rubbing, and the wheel spins freely, we should be good to go. So that's exactly what I'm about to do, and hopefully it works. So wish me luck. And there you have it. A 1/4 inch does not work. So we are going to have to go with probably either 3/4 or 1 inch. And hopefully that works. So I guess I'll start looking for some spacers and I'll get them ordered up, because that doesn't work, and you know, can't drive it like that. So anyways, I'll go ahead and get these things off. We'll paint this side of the frame, and then we'll do the other side probably tomorrow, because I got some other stuff that I need to do. But yeah, unfortunately this didn't work and it really sucks. But yeah, so let's continue to keep moving, doing other work on the car in the meantime, in between time, and I'll order the correct spacers. And yeah, so anyways, all right, y'all. Shout out to Dash. He recommended painting the brake drum. Now obviously that's not going to be permanent solution, so it doesn't even matter, but I decided to go ahead and just paint it right now anyways, because I was up under here painting everything. I ran out of the undercoat, so like right here still needs to be undercoated and stuff like that. But and I still need to do some more up under there and up under there and stuff, but I ran out, so I need to go to the store and get some. But yeah, the chassis black looks beautiful up under here, man. We still got to continue to paint the chassis, as you can see back there. Still got to get back there and just keep going along the whole entire chassis, getting it all sprayed up, looking real nice, real fresh. And then all this old crap is coming out. I'm gonna go with coilovers in the back, get a new rear end, drive shaft, obviously new control arms and stuff like that. So everything will be all solid up under here eventually. But unfortunately, I was not able to get the wheel solution figured out, so we couldn't drive the car today. That's what I was aiming for. But you know, working on these cars, if you work on your own car, you'll realize that things don't always go according to plan. Matter of fact, things never go according to plan. Small issues turn into big issues all the time. It could be a quick little bolt, you know, that you gotta unscrew, and then, you know, it could take you a whole afternoon trying to get a bolt out, either because it stripped or broke off or something like that. It could be real simple, and you know, it just sucks sometimes, but it is what it is. I'm gonna throw this wheel back on. We're gonna conclude the video because that's as far as we're gonna get today. I wanted to get further, but like I said, things don't always go according to plan. So let me go ahead, throw the wheel back on, and then I'll chop it with y'all. And then hopefully the next video, I can start the car, get the car started up. We'll see what these exhaust gaskets are gonna do. And yeah, I really don't want to start it up now. I was thinking about it, but I don't want to start the car up in the garage because the exhaust smells real bad, and it'll start filling up my garage and stuff like that pretty quickly. And I don't want to be sitting here running the car. Yeah, I could open up the garages and stuff like that, but you know, it is what it is. I want to drive it, start and drive it, and see if the wheels will work, and also the exhaust. So kind of hit two birds with one stone, but it is what it is. So let me go ahead and throw the wheel back on, and then we'll chop it in a second. All right, y'all, that's gonna do it for this video. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I feel like personally for myself, I didn't get too much accomplished, even though I did change the header gaskets. I did paint the frame, which was one of the other things on my list. But I was really hoping that the wheel spacers were gonna work. I really wanted those to work so that I could take the car out for a spin around the block real quick, just to see if that was going to be my solution to fitting these wheels, which obviously that's the solution to fitting the wheels. I was just wanting it to be a 1/4 inch spacer so that I still have a little bit of meat left on the wheel hub. So not only am I going to have to go with a thicker spacer, if I do the spacer that I showed you guys in the video, I'm going to have to get longer wheel studs. If I go with the other spacer that has the wheel studs already attached, then I won't have to bother the studs, which that might be the course of action, just because of the simple fact that, you know, it's less work to do that. I could just bolt up the adapter and it would be all good. This car doesn't really have a crazy amount of torque, so I'm not really too concerned about the wheel flying off or anything like that. It's just a quick fix solution to be able to run these wheels, and also to pretty much, you know, until I can get a rear end and all that kind of stuff all done, because like I've stated before, these IROC'S are a temporary wheel, so they're not going to be a forever type of wheel. These might be technically like my stock wheels. So I mean, I guess the solution to not having to notch my frame and not having to run wheel adapters is just get a wheel with the correct offset, which obviously, or correct offset, correct back spacing, which pretty much would be something that has a lip on it. So with that said, we'll probably run something with a lip on it, so I don't have to notch the frame, I don't have to do any of that good stuff, and I can leave all that alone, and we should be good to go. So I also came to the conclusion that I'm not going to go with a tubular control arm setup in the front. The reason why is because I still want this car to ride really well. The car is not going to be on a track or autocross or any of that type of stuff, so it's really a waste to have the tubular setup. So I'm just going to upgrade my ball joints, my spindles, my brakes, and then I am going to do a QA1 setup though. And I'm not sure if I can run QA1 setup with the stock setup on there or not, or the stock control arms or not. If y'all know whether I can or not, jump in the comment section and let me know. I think I can. I think they make an adapter plate to be able to do that. If so, that's what we're gonna do, so I can adjust the ride height the way I want to. That's pretty much the only reason why I wanted to do the tubular control arms, is so I can adjust the ride height the way I want to adjust it, without having to do drop springs. And the only reason why I went with drop springs on my Impala is because the car already rides great. It rides like you're sitting on the couch, and even with the new springs on the car, it doesn't ride terrible. With this car, I think it'll be a totally different situation. It's a lot more stiff, a lot more rigid, so it might ride a lot more rough. But anyways, man, if I just do the QA1 springs and shocks or whatever, front and back, then, or QA1 coilovers, front and back, the ride quality will be great. And then also too, all I would have to do now is just get the rear control arms and a new rear end after the car is painted, and man, we're off to the races. So if that's the case, then that's probably what I'll do. The car will be sitting right, it'll look right. Like I said, I'll just throw the adapter on for now, and then until I can get the right wheels for the car, the right offset for the car, to be able to run it without a spacer and without notching the frame. Only reason why I don't want to notch the frame is because I don't know anybody that can do it to my standard. Now obviously there's people out there or whatever, but I don't want somebody to hack my frame up, if anything. Now I do know somebody who may know somebody who can fabricate it up and make it nice. But you know, whatever, that's neither here nor there. That'll be down the road. Right now, we're just trying to get the wheel on the car so we can drive it and have fun with it. So anyways, man, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Like I said, I don't feel too accomplished because, like I said, even though I got things done, I didn't get done or accomplish what I was trying or what I set out to do. So that kind of sucks, but it is what it is. That's how these things go when you're working on the car. But we did knock out some things that needed to be taken care of, and it is what it is. So anyways, man, if you're still here through the video, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that bell notification so you get a notification every single time we drop another video. I'd greatly appreciate it. It means a lot to me. And go ahead and stay tuned for the rest of the build. We're gonna be dropping this content until this thing is done, and then by the time this thing is done, hopefully the Impala is back, and then we can drop a new project. So anyways, yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. Always remember, work hard so you live free.